Hey, and thanks for joining us on this week's episode of For All Things Lexington, the only show dedicated to Lexington, South Carolina, and where a spade is always a spade. Here we'll talk to and about people, places, groups, things to do, and places to go in and around Lexington, South Carolina. I'm your host, Angela Barrett, and this is For All Things Lexington. Brought to you in part by GervaisStreetBridge.com, Columbia's most unforgettable free-to-list business directory. Hey guys, thanks for watching today. I am here with Eli Lykes at Defender Firearms and Training. What'd you say? We're, I know it's Lexington, but
1070 South Lake Drive, Lexington, South Carolina. So we're on the corner of 6th and 2 Notch.
So like I'm going out to White Knoll High School.
Like you're going out to White Knoll, just off of exit 55A from I-20. So about 2 blocks up.
Well, thanks for letting me come in and invade your space today. Although I won't call it invading with all of this here, but so Defender Firearms and Training. Obviously, we have some firearms, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the bulk, I would say, since I've done some of it, would be your training. So you have different programs. I know you have the Learn to Shoot and the CWP, which I've done, but you have other programs.
Yes.
Right?
So we also provide home defense training, active shooter stuff for businesses and organizations. We do a business defense class if you're a business owner and you need to, know what your boundaries are, what you can and can't do to protect that business. Mm-hmm. We do that as well. One of the things that we recently started was not the active shooter training, but the security training. So all of your SLED training to be a security officer, armed or unarmed, any of that stuff, and the recertifications, we provide that training and stuff as well.
And did I sit the truck for everything?
Yeah, so we got tons of training.
So I kind of went off of the...
Yeah, so kind of... it's kind of unexpected, but one of the things that we provide is special industry certification or recertification classes. So everything from DOT type stuff for driver's training, recertification if they have accidents, OSHA training, we do that, workplace safety for construction. All of that is an online training suite that we provide for that. So pretty much anything that you need as a supervisor, FMLA, sexual harassment training, those kind of things. We provide all of that stuff for businesses and organizations for their regulatory type annual training.
Gotcha. All right. Well, sticking with the firearm.
That's
the end of this. So the CWP and the Learn to Shoot. Now, I did both of those classes with you. And the Learn to Shoot, we came in and basically learned how to handle a gun properly, got to,
load it, clear it.
Right. And that was pretty cool because there's a lot of that, like I grew up with a family that hunted. Mm-hmm. And so we always did gun safety, but it was our family safety. So it was nice to see it from the legal aspect. Not that we did anything illegal, but we certainly probably didn't hold it all the time, right, like recommended. Safety was always on, or it wasn't loaded, but probably still didn't hold it like we were supposed to, things of that nature. So that was really fun. And then I was really nervous about actually taking the CWP, but that was a great experience as well.
It worked out just fine.
Yeah, and I did much better on the shooting range than I thought I would, but here nor there, my dad was, I sent it the picture to my dad. He was very proud.
Good.
So for people who have not been through that, talk about those two classes first.
So for our Learn to Shoot class, and that's really, we provide that class because many people, if you haven't been in the military or, your parents didn't take you hunting or, you law enforcement or anything like that, then the average person doesn't get, professional training on how to actually use their firearm. It's one of those things that's just not required.
Right.
When you purchase a firearm, you just got to meet all the qualifications, but it doesn't matter whether you know how to use it or not. You can still purchase it. So we provide that training. Just say, it's good for everyone to have that professional training. So even if you have an idea of what you're doing, it's good to know that you know what you're doing. The more confident you are
right
with your firearm, the better you're going to be, the safer you're going to be with it if you actually know what you're doing. So teaching you all of the, parts of the firearm and the do's and don'ts and how to operate it properly and clear it if you have any problems, those kind of things. It's just important for everybody to know.
Yeah. And I like the fact that, I guess you have the option of taking one or the other, but you always, or at least I've seen, offer those two classes in combination so that if you're going to do your CWP, you have that day before to really learn all the ins and outs of it.
Yeah, those two classes we offer every week, every Friday for the Learn to Shoot, every Saturday for the CWP. So being able to protect yourself, it's just, it's not only a right, but it's a duty. If you think way back when you watched the Western movies, everybody knew how to use that shotgun,
Right.
Father was away from the house. Mom knew how to use the shotgun. Kids knew how to use the shotgun because protection is a basic thing, So being able to protect yourself is a big deal. I mean, and I do think that's a duty. That's why it's self-defense, okay?
Right.
You have to be able to look out for yourself, take care of you and your family, those kind of things. So it's important for people to get this training. We're not just trying to put guns in people's hands just, so they can be armed and do dumb things.
Right.
We want them to be safe and be secure. It's a lot of things happening out here. So number one thing you need to be able to do is protect yourself and your family.
Right. Safely.
Yeah, safe.
Without being...
Safely.
Right.
Exactly.
And for those who don't know, most I think do, what a CWP is, explain that.
Okay. That CWP is a concealed weapon permit in South Carolina. They call them different things in other states, CCW, things of that nature, but concealed weapon permit is what it is here in South Carolina. So that's what your CWP is.
And that allows you to carry it on your person.
Yeah. South Carolina law says with the CWP, you can carry your firearm, your handgun on your person, open carry or conceal carry. So you can open carry or conceal carry as long as you have a CWP in South Carolina.
But there are some exceptions like federal buildings and...
Exactly. So you can't go in any government buildings, places on election days. That's an election year. You cannot take guns into your polling place.
Right.
Those kind of things. But we go through all of that stuff during the training. We're going to tell you all the South Carolina gun laws. We go over. Of course, you know this already, but of course, the South Carolina gun laws, self-defense laws, which is very important because oftentimes what we have in our minds is, normal citizens and what we can do for self-defense is very different from what the actual laws are. So
now is there a self-defense class?
No, we don't do a self-defense class, but we do a situational awareness class, and we talk about, things that you need to be concerned about, local crimes and stuff that are happening, on a regular around the area, those kind of things.
Gotcha. Now, there was the home defense program that you do, and tell us a little bit about that.
So our home defense class is really about educating you and your family. So we do a lot of couples, but we do encourage people to bring their children as well. just to get everyone on the same page about, protecting your home. So a lot of what we discussed in that class is, believe it or not, actually, we talk about a lot of ways to deter an intruder from, breaking into your home, those kind of things, having, fences, having, security cameras, those kind of things, signs in the yard that say it's actually secure. Those kind of things actually deter personnel from actually breaking into your home. So deterrent is the first thing. And then we talk about
not putting on Facebook that you're on vacation.
Exactly. Little things like that. You don't get to
announce that there's no one home.
That's right. Exactly. And, like for my family, I don't like post anything until I get back.
Right.
Then we post the vacation pictures. But, if you're in, Cancun for a week, that's a whole lot of opportunity. You don't post that stuff until you get back. So we talk about things like that. And then, of course, we talk about, best options for home protection, things of that nature. But one of the biggest things is having a plan. In case of a home invasion, who's going to do what? Where do you go? What's the safe place? Those kind of things, so that the whole house is, on the same page and know what to do.
Yeah.
So
that's a good idea. And what about, like, for somebody like me, I've taken the CWP, and at this point I'm just waiting on my okay from SLED, I guess, to get back after the class. But what if I need to be more comfortable? I want somebody to help me be more comfortable with the handgun.
Great question. Then you just come back and see me. So we provide marksmanship training, coaching. So our coaching program is usually 3 to 4 weeks, and it can go longer. But I recommend personnel come back at least 3 or 4 times. We'll meet once a week for 4 weeks. 30 minutes to an hour of training on the range. We'd be working on your shot and your marksmanship, those kind of things. 1, for you to get comfortable, and 2, for you to get better at shooting.
Right.
So,
right.
But yeah, and so the more you train and get comfortable, the better you're gonna be at protecting yourself. So
yeah, because I think this was something that at least somebody, if not myself, brought up in the class. I'm like, not have ever been around. I mean, obviously, rifles, shotguns, things of that. Sure, there was a pistol, whatever. But I mean, having a handgun on your person, I would not be comfortable unless I had practiced. And it's going to do me no good to have it, only if I'm not going to pull it out and use it.
You did one learn to shoot class, and, that was great. You remembered long enough to pass your test the next day. I mean, that's good, but yeah, you have to continue training. And, I encourage folks to come back and do some coaching with us. But even if you don't do that, it's important for you to get to the range, at a minimum, once or twice a month, to just keep your skills and keep yourself comfortable.
Because, I mean, again, the whole purpose is to be comfortable with it. So you can be safe. I mean, you don't want to take it out, be wound down everywhere because you're nervous and don't know what to do with it.
Exactly. Because, reality is things, if you're in imminent danger and you have to draw that firearm for protection, it's different.
Yeah.
It's 10 times different from just practicing at the range. So, but if you've practiced on a regular basis, then it's not that.
Right. And so, again, y'all have a program that helps people, like myself, be much more comfortable.
Exactly. Coaching. And we also do a defensive shooting class, too, where, we kind of create those situations that, you're going to have to react immediately under pressure a little bit. So you have to do things a little bit more quicker. So we create those things.
Do you get to wear Depends in your class? Because I probably had to act that quick.
Well, what you put on underneath It's really that.
For sure, I would need it. For sure. Maybe I'll work up to that. All right. So, what the programs do you guys have for people like who already are comfortable with the gun, but they just want to be?
Same thing. We do those private coaching classes. And see, the coaching class, it doesn't have to be for beginners. It can be at any level.
Yeah.
We also offer shotgun classes. If you want to learn how to shoot a shotgun, if you want to practice for skeet shooting, those kind of things. So any of that kind of stuff at any level, we can train you at that level. So if you come in for a private coaching or you schedule private coaching, we meet you where you are.
And so in that private coaching, you can, if that person, I guess it's whatever that person may need, but like cleaning a gun. I mean, I know we kind of went over all that, but I mean, to actually physically have your own gun and be comfortable taking it for. But
we have gun cleaning classes as well. Yeah. And, basically, I like to do that class. We do it with your firearm.
Right.
It really doesn't help you to break down my firearm. So we have you bring your firearm in. We'll show you how to disassemble it, take it apart, clean it, and put it back together. So, yeah, you'll find that class on the website as well.
So yeah, speaking of the website to look for the training is?
It's defenderfirearms.com.
Okay.
Yeah, defenderfirearms.com.
Is that the same place as people who need the online classes as well?
Yeah. So we have everything consolidated on one website. Okay. So if you go to Defender Firearms, there's tabs at the top for training, but you can also shop for your firearms or ammunition or accessories. Any of that stuff you find all there on the same page.
Now, how does that work online if you've got to
purchase a firearm?
Purchase a firearm.
Good question, because a lot of people think, you purchase online and we send it to your house. It doesn't work that way. So when you order a firearm online, you have two options. You can ship it here to the store, or you could ship it to another gun dealer that's a licensed FFL dealer. Okay, so, and once you get here to pick up the firearm, we have to do a standard background check, all of that stuff. So it has to be cleared, and you have to be approved to get the firearm. Okay. But that's usually not a problem. Most gun owners, of course, they know the process, Sure. And if you have a CWP here in South Carolina, you don't have to actually get a background check every time you purchase it. Once you have those credentials, you can show those credentials. You still have to do the paperwork and everything, but sure, you don't have to wait for a background check.
Gotcha. So let's talk about firearms, because I know that you helped me. I know you helped some other people in the class kind of choose which one, as you being the expert and me going, okay, it feels good, it's a little heavy, or, I know that you've helped people, but so go through that process of.
So what we like to do is, first of all, find out what you plan on using the firearm for. If it's going to be just something at home for home defense, if you plan on carrying it, and if you are going to carry it, how are you going to carry it? Some ladies like to carry in their purse. Some like to carry on their person. So all of that makes a difference as to what we kind of steer you through. But, first thing, let's say here, we can start off with small firearm. And if you just need something, if you don't carry a big purse, let's say you carry a small purse and, you just want something to be able to have to protect yourself. That's fine. So we'd start with something small like this. Mm-hmm. And this is a Ruger LCP. So it's a 380, 6 rounds, 6+1 in the chamber. Small enough. You're a small person. So this would be great just to stick in your purse if you don't carry a large purse. What we always ask you to do is grip the firearm. You want to make sure it feels okay in your hand. So I'm going to hand you this. Okay. You're going to point it that direction.
Right.
That's it. That direction. So
now, does this have a safety?
Now that firearm in particular does not have a safety on it. Okay. But it's small enough and simply.
Is that possible? Most of the Rugers, is that?
No, that's actually not. So you can get them with the safety or without the safety. And the other thing too is you always have an option of how you carry your firearm.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are adamant about having it around in the chamber, and others, just like to have it loaded but not around in the chamber. So that's always options. So we'll discuss those kind of things.
Yeah, I think that would come with the more comfortable you are with this to whether your preference are. But yeah, but that would be something that you would be able to conceal.
Yeah,
personally, because it's small.
It is small enough that you can conceal it. So we talk about that and kind of, sometimes these smaller firearms are great for just, a concealed carry, especially if you just stick it in a small space. You don't have a lot of space for it. They're great for that. And it may not be the firearm that you want to take to the range and shoot 50 rounds through.
Right.
But it's great for emergency protection, if you get in a pinch and you really need to protect yourself.
And what about what I call it a kickback? I don't know what y'all call it. I mean, that's because shotgun kind of talk, where you're shooting back. I don't know.
We call it recoil, but kickback is the same thing. Most people will call it kickback.
And so what about some of these smaller guns?
So the way this works, and this is actually something that's a good question, because so when you're getting into the smaller firearms, this is a 380 firearm, which is a pretty decent caliber to protect yourself with. But a 380 in this size, you're going to feel a little bit more kick. And in any firearm, one of the things that people don't know is the shorter the barrel on a handgun, the more recoil it's going to have. So when you pack a 380 into something small, whether it's a 380 or 9mm, but the smaller, it's going to have a little bit more recoil, and you're going to feel that in your hands.
And probably need a lot more practice.
You're not,
just so you're
like, say for me shooting this, this firearm doesn't fit very well in my hand. Okay, I got like a couple fingers hanging off. I could shoot it, but I'm not going to be as accurate with it. So I would probably want something a little bit bigger, but would this work if I just needed a pocket gun?
Sure.
This would be fine. I could shoot it well enough to hit the target and defend myself if I needed to defend myself. So, again, it's not, and that's the thing about a concealed firearm. Your concealed firearm is for your protection. It's not necessarily your favorite gun to go shoot, but it's, perfect for you, good size, for you to actually carry it. And the more comfortable you are carrying the firearm, if it works for you, then you're going to more likely carry it more often. So, the more you can carry it, the better you are.
So with a gun like this that doesn't have a safety, even though it's small enough to carry on your person, what is your suggestion?
My suggestion would be you can carry with a loaded magazine, but not around in the chamber. A loaded magazine, but not around in the chamber. That's the best way to do it. And if you
shoot your honey bottom off.
Exactly. There's a lot of people that accidentally shoot themselves.
Yeah.
So, again, I mean, it's good to be prepared. I always recommend that, students that want to carry around in the chamber at least have a firearm with a safety on it.
Yes.
That safety is for your protection. For your protection, so that you don't have those accidental discharges and hurt yourself.
Right. Yeah. You can tell I grew up in a hunting family. That's right. I'm the first thing I'm looking for. I'm like, wait a minute.
All about safety. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, great. Now, of course, y'all have ammo, and I think even saw, I don't know, a couple other things that you would need to conceal a gun with.
Yeah.
Do you have all of that here that you could help somebody?
Yeah. So we carry everything from, your very small handguns to your larger handguns that you may just want to shoot for sport, shotguns and stuff, ARs. We pretty much carry everything you would find at a normal gun store. And if you go to our online inventory, you find all major brands and carriers, pretty much everything you need. As far as accessories, you can find all that stuff too. Different holsters from, all the major companies, ammunition and stuff from different companies. We have a lot of personnel that come by for special things. If they're hunting, they like their hunting ammo. And one of the unique things is if you come in and you want something that we don't have here in the store, you can always go online and order it. And I have customers all the time. If they need something that we don't regularly carry, if it's around that, maybe everybody doesn't shoot, we don't have a problem getting it in the store for you.
Now, Eli, this is not the only business you have.
No, it is not the only business I have. This is one of my favorites,
Right, yeah.
Being retired Army, guns are just natural, guns and people, it's a natural thing. It's not really work to me. I talk to people about guns all day long.
Right.
Yeah.
And the classes are enjoyable, I will say that. I mean, you make it very interesting. It's not a humdrum class. It's very interesting. So you're really good at what you do.
Well, thank you.
But I know you have a fun new business that's getting ready to open up soon.
That is true. So,
similarity, maybe.
So, yeah, that's right. Similarities. So, using firearms, but this one is more so for the whole family and something you can do recreational.
Right.
Guns are recreational too. But now within the next few months, we'll be opening up Lykes and paintball.
Do they still hurt as bad as they used to?
They still hurt a little bit, but we have protectors and stuff that you can wear. If you're concerned about that, because it does hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
So
now it's going to be right around.
Yeah, it's going to be literally. It'll be right down the street here.
Yeah,
not too
great.
So
that'll be fine.
Yeah, so we got the property nearby. It'll be something new, recreational, outdoors. For families to do, and organizations. I mean, everybody plays paintball. From
Sure.
6-7 years old to us.
Yeah.
Business
like me.
Yeah, business organizations like to come out and do just events so they can I just can't get the military terms out, but it's always like building the esprit de corps, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like team building.
Yeah, team building.
Yeah, things of that nature. Yeah, I was just getting ready to say how I met you years ago was through real estate, and you have Rescom brokerage, which you are the broker in charge. But I was going to say we need to get our realtor friends out there and all have paintball. That is,
yeah. That is something we.
That may happen.
Great. We'll do the office events. You can bring your weekly meetings to the paintball range. Everybody has some fun.
That's right.
It's always a good time. I've never been paintballer and not had a good time.
Right. Yeah. It is a lot of fun. It does smart a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so very much for having me today, and great information. And I know you and I will be back together to talk about your paintball as soon as the doors get open.
Exactly. Love to have you back. Thanks for thinking of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
And thanks for training with us.
Oh, yeah. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
All right. So maybe the next podcast will have some snippets of you doing your training.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us today, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or have a person, business, idea, an event that Lexington needs to know more about, email me, local@forallthingslexington.com. That's the number 4, y'all.
And by Angela Barrett at HomeMattersSC.com. Building on what matters to you.